Good evening and welcome to our sixth grade virtual open house. My name is Greg Dent. I'm the proud principal here at East Canton Middle School. Tonight I'd like to start with our school district mission statement, which is, as the heart of the community, Osnaburg local schools will educate, empower, and cultivate the potential within every individual. We will help students find their passion and purpose in life. As a school, we certainly understand that the past few months have brought many challenges. We certainly anticipate families and students feeling anxious about the new start of the school year. And though we've had to make adjustments here at school, our school's mission still remains the same. Our goal tonight is that we hope from this open house that some of your anxiety will be eased and that you truly see that we are all in this together. Just a friendly reminder, if you have not been able to watch the presentation by Superintendent Finnerfrock entitled Reset and Restart, this is available on our school district webpage. The address is www.ecweb.spark.org. A couple other of our goals tonight, besides easing some of that anxiety, is to provide information specific to our middle school, introduce staff members, provide a glimpse of what a student's day at school will look like, and obviously answer any questions. So a little bit about the questioning. If you have a question, obviously you're viewing this on YouTube Live, and you can submit a question in the chat. We have our teachers as well as Mr. Hinton available they will try to answer your questions. If there is a question that would be better fielded by me, at the end of the presentation, I will take those questions and answer those. For the sake of time, my goal is to try to remain around no more than 45 minutes. And if we reach that mark, if needed, a frequently asked question list will be available to families after tonight's open house. So if there's a lot of questions and we feel like it's going to take a lot of time, we'll certainly create a list and spend some time fielding those so you guys can have access to those. So let's jump right in. Again, my name is Greg Dent. I am so excited to welcome our new sixth graders to our middle school. I know the joke is all you do is take a left instead of a right at door one, but we understand that there's a lot more to that. So, we certainly understand that, some of the things that kids look forward to coming into middle school. Obviously, they have class changes down in the elementary, but a few more in the middle school, lockers, and then we love going to sixth grade camp, which we're going to touch on all that during the presentation. My contact information, and I'll show this again at the end. My email address is gregory.dent@osnaburglocal.org. And the middle school phone number is 330-488-0334. And my extension is 254. So if there's a question or any concern that you have after the presentation or really anytime this school year, please feel free to contact me directly in one of those ways. So without further ado, actually, I'll come back to that slide. I'd like to take a moment to introduce our sixth grade staff. I first want to thank them. The last few days, and actually even going back to the spring, they have been very hard at work preparing for the school year. I know many of them have fielded questions for me through the summer, and we are very blessed to have the staff that we do here at East Canton Middle School. Our sixth grade staff is very special. We have some alumni that's part of the group. Tonight, I did just invite a few people, our guidance counselor, a few of our teachers and secretary. I did not invite all our special teachers just because I know they've been busy with preparing. They teach elementary and high school classes. So we will start with our lovely guidance counselor, Mrs. Jamie Smith. And Mrs. Smith, I don't know if you can say hello.
Hi, East Canton Middle School.
And Mrs.
Welcome
Smith.
back.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. So Mrs. Smith will be, she is our guidance counselor. She is also serving as our online coordinator, and she'll also serve as an intervention specialist to some of our students. So we're excited to have Mrs. Smith. One really good news about Mrs. Smith is Mrs. Smith, unlike previous years, will be with us every single day, which we are very excited about, and our kids will certainly come to know her and know her well. The next person I'd like to introduce is our lovely secretary, Miss Maria Maley. You there, Miss Maley?
I am. Hi, students and families.
Miss Maley is the friendly face that you see at door one. Not only does she serve as our middle school secretary, she serves as our door one secretary, which obviously is the main entrance of our school. And I can honestly say I could not do my job without either of those two individuals. So thank you, Miss Maley and Mrs. Smith, for joining us. Now we'll jump into our teachers. The first teacher I'd like to introduce, and again, my assumption is that that some of our students that are not new to East Canton will know some of our teachers, at least by name, but they might not. But I'd like to start with our newest teacher that is new to East Canton this year, Mrs. Monica Haynes. She will be
everyone. Can't wait to meet you all.
Thank you, Miss Haynes. She will be taking over the duties of sixth grade math. And Miss Haynes has really hit the ground running. We're excited that we're excited to have her as part of our team, and you all will see her in math class. English language arts teacher is Miss Ida Gorman.
Hi. It'll be great to have this classroom with kids in it again.
Thank you, Miss Gorman. Miss Gorman is a graduate of East Canton, and I tell you what, if you don't, she might actually make you love reading. She is an advocate when it comes to reading, and I know she's gotten me to read a few books since our time together. So thank you for joining us, Miss Gorman. Next up is Mr. Clapper, Mr. Josh Clapper, who teaches social studies and science.
Hello, how's it going, guys?
Mr. Clapper is yet another graduate of East Canton. For you Steelers fans, beware, Mr. Clapper is a huge Browns fan. He also likes the Indians, the Cavaliers, and you'll certainly notice that when you enter his classrooms. But Mr. Clapper also leads our announcement crew. We do broadcast announcements every day. This year is a little bit different. We're going to show them in the afternoon, but we do thank Mr. Clapper for his leadership and providing those to our school. Next up is Mrs. Nicole Shadle, who serves as an intervention specialist.
Hi, everybody. Can't wait to see you next week.
Thank you, Mrs. Shadle. Mrs. Shadle, we joke and say she is our favorite Shadle family member because her husband, Todd, also serves in our school. Mrs. Shadle also coaches volleyball and really does an amazing job of making sure that our kids get involved some way in school. So we're definitely excited to have Mrs. Shadle. She lives right here in town. She has kids that attend the school. And I think she probably spends more time in the building than she actually does at home. So thank you, Mrs. Shadle, for being here. Next up, we have Mrs. Kelsey Click, who also serves as an intervention specialist.
Hi, I'm excited to meet you all.
And thank you, Mrs. Click, for joining us. Mrs. Click, it's exciting because we just recently hired her husband, Mr. Click, who will be teaching us. Who will be actually teaching some middle school STEM classes. So we're excited. Mrs. Click joined us last year, and tell you what, Mrs. Click, it really seems like you've been here for 10 years. She's wonderful, and I know you students will adore her as much as we do. The remainder of our list here is just cycle or elective teachers. Again, they are not here this evening. They haven't joined us. But I would like to just share their names and the position or class that they teach. We have Mr. Jacob Husted, who is our band director and will lead our middle school and high school band. We have Miss Kristen Morton, who is our choir teacher. Mr. Alex Loy, our art teacher, who also serves as a coach. He coaches cross country, middle school cross country, as well as middle school track. We have Mrs. Karen Candle, who will be doing our sixth grade STEM. Mrs. Dawn Vlasky, who is our physical education teacher for our middle school, and then Miss Nicole Zahirski, who is our sixth grade Spanish teacher. Again, those teachers wear many hats. Some of them are elementary / high school / middle school teachers. So we're excited to have them again serving our kids and offering those classes. So I'm going to jump back a slide here. I know many of you that might be joining us this evening have chosen one of our online options. And we're going to talk about those options here in a bit, but two of our online options, our online academy options that we offer is our home base and our school base. And I just wanted quickly to share that for those that are attending our online academy, on August 24th from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., we'll have our device and login information pickup at the school. So we'll do one of those famous drive-throughs through the school, so you can come through. You'll just drive up through door 1 and pick up your device, some additional important information, as well as the login to the Acellus program, which will be explained. And then on August 25th, we will have our online academy orientation via YouTube Live. So just like you are viewing us right now, our open house, that is how we'll do our online academy orientation. And this information can be found on our webpage, our school's webpage, as well as our social media page. And I put the link there. So I am glad that our students that are online, hopefully many of you are joining us this evening. And I guess before we really get started, I do want to say this. I was speaking with a couple parents about a week or so ago, and one mistake, and I want to be upfront about this, is I really want all our students, whether they have chosen the all-in option or online, to know and to hear from me directly that you are all our students, and the teachers you see this evening are your teachers, and they are here to support you. Obviously, things might look a little bit different, but I hate using the term online students versus students that are in school. At the end of the day, all of you are East Canton Middle School students. All of you are 6th grade students. So hopefully many of you are able to join us. There will be additional information about our online academy and those options on August 25th. So jumping ahead, we do have the first week of school starting next week. We do have a phase-in week. And just to clarify, I know there was a little bit of confusion about our phase-in, and the information I have on the screen here is specific to our middle school. So just our middle school we're talking about. We're not talking about elementary or high school. So on Monday, August 24th, the only middle school class will be you guys, our 6th graders. So you will be the only middle school grade level in the building. And then as you go on here, Tuesday, 6th grade will not attend school. On Wednesday, 6th grade will not attend school. So you'll attend on Monday for the first day. You will be the only grade level in the middle school that day. And then on Thursday and Friday, you will attend again, and we will have all our ECMS grade levels attending on those days. A little bit about our phase-in days and why we're doing this. So first and foremost, we do know things are a little bit different at school. There's a lot of things that have not changed, but there's a few things. And we wanted to take a day to go through that and make sure that our students have the opportunity to ask questions, to make sure that they are feeling comfortable, make sure that we have the opportunity to walk freely through our school, especially our 6th graders that might not have spent as much time in the middle school, to be able to observe and kind of have a little tour of the school. So having you guys be the only ones here on Monday will allow us to a lot easier to do that. So we're excited about that. We're also going to spend time getting our class schedules. You'll have time to kind of meet and greet your teachers. You'll have time to meet and greet maybe some friends you haven't seen. So it will be a laid back day. And again, our main purpose of that day is to kind of take things easy. We understand again that there might be some anxiety and some questions, but there will be plenty of time for students to ask questions and plenty of time for us to spend time with them and hopefully kind of ease into the school year a little bit better. So hopefully you don't have any questions about the phase-in day. Again, Monday, 6th grade only. Tuesday, Wednesday, 6th grade will not attend school. Thursday, Friday, 6th grade, and all the other middle school grade levels. I will add this to our online academy, our students that are doing our online academy. Their official day will be Wednesday, August 26th. So whether you're home-based or school-based, if you're starting at the Fultz Center, that will start Wednesday, August 26th. For our online kids at the Fultz Center, though that the school day starts at 8:30 and for them ends at the Fultz Center at 11:30. All right, next. So now we're looking at our school day here at school. School day has changed. It will begin at 8:30. And the school day ends at 3 o'clock. So that is 6th through 12th grade. The school day starts at 8:30 a.m. and ends at 3 o'clock p.m. Students are permitted to enter the building at 8:15 a.m. So unlike past years, we had to really limit that time to decrease the, obviously we cannot let kids go to the gym like they used to. So as kids enter the building, they will go directly to first period. They will have a chance as they're walking to their first period class to get a lunch, a grab and go breakfast. And there will be a temperature screen that will occur as the student enters. Now, this might take place as they enter the building, or it might take place in the classroom, but we will do some sort of temperature screen once they have entered the building. Again, once they enter the building on a normal day, go to their first period class. They will eat. Their breakfast will be eaten in their first period class. And this will look a little bit different. I'll go through this here shortly. A little bit different during the phase-in week, just because you don't know what your first period class is. So we're going to ask you to, on the first day, just to report to the high school gym. We're going to spend some time in the high school gym, and that's where you'll get your class schedules during the first day of school. So you will not have access to your class schedules before Monday, but the first thing that we'll look at when you guys come in and enter through the enter and go down to the high school gym is your schedules. Next, kind of touching on our arrival and dismissal, buses will load and unload students in front of the building. Bus riders will enter through door 1. This is something that we've done for years, so there's no change there. Car riders need to be picked up and dropped off at door 6. That is the back of the building. And again, this is no change to previous years. Our middle schoolers have always been dropped off and picked up at door 6, our car riders. Walkers, just a little bit of a change. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This is not a change even for our walkers. Walkers will utilize door 1. They've utilized that in the past. So I know we don't have too many walkers, but for those that do walk, they will just enter through door 1. And then when we do exit the building, they will go through door 2, which is the hallway, which is the door that is located at the end of the middle school hallway. So obviously you being 6th graders are not used to this routine, but really none of our arrival or dismissal in the middle school changes at all. So student schedules, I already touched on this a little bit. All ECMS students will receive their class schedule on the first day of school during our phase-in week. Students will report to the high school gymnasium when arriving at school the first day. And please, 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 don't worry, we will remind you as you enter. So there will be a couple reminders as you enter the building, where to go. If you need help getting there, if you're new to our school, we'll certainly make sure you get down to our high school gym. For those wondering, that first day for our 6th graders in the high school gym, as we get down there, our whole entire middle school staff will be down there to greet them. Starting at 8:15, we will social distance. We're using the gym to obviously be able to spread the students out. It will give me an opportunity to address the whole grade level together. We'll introduce teachers again, might do some fun activities, and then obviously everybody will get their schedule and time to report back to their homeroom to have some discussions about some specific with 6th grade. So again, I know personally I'm looking really forward to those days that I kind of get to spend just with one grade level at a time, and I know the teachers are as well. Next up is just an overview of our classes. In the middle school, we do use a block schedule for math and English language arts. So what that means is our periods are 40 minutes. And when you add 2 periods together, that equals a block. So your math and English language arts will be about 80 minutes apiece. And then all other classes, your elective classes, will be 40 minutes. Your science and social studies kind of varies. You're with Mr. Clapper for 80 minutes total. So you're in the same room for 80 minutes, but he'll address social studies and science. And I know he does that, it varies. Sometimes he'll touch on both in one day. If you guys have something really cool going on in science, maybe he'll use the full 80 minutes for science and touch on social studies the next day. So so in a nutshell, you'll spend a lot of time in those 3 classes. And then in all your other elective classes, you'll have 40 minutes. Our elective classes that we offer are band, which is a year commitment. So if you're in band, that is something that you're in all school year. Choir is the same. Choir is a year commitment. So if you're in choir, that is a year. Then we have art, STEM, and Spanish. And one thing that we have been trying to achieve for the last couple of years in our middle school is we're very, very proud of our STEM program and the things that our high school has done just last year with the STEM designation of the high school, with the upgrades of the STEM room, with the Student Success Lab, and just the courses they can offer. That is something that we want to start as young as back to elementary. And the one thing that's been difficult for us is just the scheduling of that. So we're excited to announce that all our 7th and 8th graders will have a STEM class. Now, unfortunately, our 6th graders will not all have a STEM class, but I share this is because hopefully you're still with us in 7th and 8th. So starting in 7th grade, everyone will have a STEM class. This year, if you don't have a STEM class, again, it's something that you can look forward to in the future. But I just wanted to share that because I know I had some conversation with parents and, we were hoping earlier on that we could have STEM starting in 6th grade and just some issues with our scheduling. It did not allow that. So the good news is something to look forward to. And we certainly want to start that STEM education as early as we can. Lunch. Lunch will be from 12:50 p.m. to 1:20 p.m. We will utilize the cafeteria as well as the middle school gym. So this is an area that we obviously put a big focus on with our social distancing guidelines. Obviously, during lunch, masks will have to be removed to eat. So that's why we're using both the middle school gym and cafeteria. What we're kind of looking at now is that 1 grade level will be in the cafeteria, or 2 grade levels will be in the cafeteria, and 1 grade level will utilize our middle school gym. And with the numbers that we have, which are a little under 200 for these first 9 weeks, we'll be able to social distance. Kids will be able to socialize with their friends just from a safe distance. Chromebooks. So as you enter 6th grade, I know you guys have used Chromebooks. I know they're using Chromebooks all the way down in kindergarten. But as you enter the middle school and enter 6th grade, it is a requirement to have a device when you're in class and to own or to either buy one or to borrow one that is yours for the entire year. So we do have 3 options. Our 3 options are buy, pay over time, or borrow. There's additional information that can be found on our school's webpage. Again, there's the address. You click on the student tab, and then there's another tab, another link that says laptop Chromebook program, and that can give you all the details about the Chromebooks, about the warranty that comes with them, and then additionally this information that I'm going to share with you now. So for our buy option, families can outright purchase one-time payment, upfront payment of $312. This includes the Chromebook bag, and 4 years of coverage. Again, if you visit our webpage, you can read more specifics about that coverage. I will say, personally, I've never seen coverage so good. It really, it's very beneficial. I think it would be a lot more expensive to buy such coverage, like if you went and bought something your own. The other option, number 2, is to pay over time. That's $84 per year for 4 years. So this year you would have an $84 payment, and then for the next 3 years you would continue to have those payment. And the school retains all ownership of the machine until the final payment. So there has been situations where a device is broken and a kid has asked, do I have to pay for this? And if that agreement is signed, we obviously do want you to fulfill that agreement. And then the last one is to bring your device. So obviously a lot of students have Chromebooks or laptops of their own. We have been asked about tablets in the past. My stance on that is whatever you're comfortable with, but I will be honest with you, through the years, and I know the teachers would agree with me, tablets for some of the things that we do in class does make it a little bit more difficult. So I would certainly highly encourage a Chromebook or laptop to be brought in. When a device is brought in from home, it does need to go through Mr. Jason Hall, our tech coordinator, who needs to basically set you up onto our server. So that has to be cleared. So you can't just bring in your device and start using it. You bring it in, you let your teachers know. Mr. Hall comes and checks it out, make sure that it's hooked up to our server, and then you get it back, and then it's yours. So Lockers. So I've received many questions over the past few weeks about lockers. In Mr. Finnerfrock's presentation, he had informed our families that lockers will not be used. So student lockers will not be used at the start of the year. Now, with that being said, there are some things that, and thank you to our families, that we've had to address, and it made us think that, hey, kids are going to come in with bags. And so one thing that we finally made a decision on is student athletes will be permitted to use the locker rooms to store their belongings relating to the sport that they are participating in. So one example is our volleyball players. Sometimes they have an extra bag with shoes, clothes. They will have access to the locker room. They can put it in there. They will not have access back to that locker room until the end of the school day when they would need those belongings. A couple other scenarios that the staff helped me think of is, as the weather gets cold, the coats get bigger. So, and the question is, what are we going to do with the coats? So as of now, obviously we are not using lockers, but we are going to need to continue to revisit this and to see what the circumstances are. So I'm definitely not saying today that lockers will not be used at all this year. I'm just saying at the start of the year, we will not utilize lockers. And then as time goes, we'll obviously see what the circumstances are. And if we need to make some adjustments, we'll certainly do that. And we'll be sure to communicate that. Now, in saying that, obviously, I don't want students and parents to worry about what all your child will be taking to class. So we've already discussed the Chromebook. Chromebook or laptop, you will have a device that you need to carry from class to class. And then our sixth grade team does a wonderful job of really condensing everything you need. And obviously there's some items that you keep at school. And then the only thing that they really want you to take everywhere is this take everywhere binder. And our goal is for everyone to travel lightly. So the Chromebook and this take everywhere binder are two things that our students will be taking to and from school probably daily, honestly. Miss Gorman, I don't know, and not to put you on the spot, do you have anything to add about our take everywhere binder?
We will help you organize it on day one with lots of things ready to go for the year. So just have faith and bring all this stuff and we'll get you ready to go.
Thank you, Miss Gorman. So we just had a staff meeting yesterday, and other binders that you're bringing in, those will be kept safely. And they will be disinfected and kept in the classroom. And then one binder will be designated as the Take Everywhere binder. And like Ms. Gorman said, they will help them organize them. So the good news is, as you're traveling class to class, you have your binder, you have your Chromebook, and really that's it. And that's our goal is for our kids to travel light, that they don't have, a ton of things to travel with. And then obviously they will have their book bags if they choose. Some other topics that are one being very specific to sixth grade is our sixth grade camp. So obviously due to the circumstances, we have been going back and forth whether or not we could go to camp. The decision has been made that we will not be attending sixth grade camp this year. From what I'm hearing, I don't think many schools are. There might be one or two, but from the ones I've spoken to, not the schools that do attend camp are not attending this year. Now that experience is an incredible experience for our kids. And not only myself, but the entire staff is heartbroken to think that experience, that opportunity would be taken away from you guys, our sixth graders. So for the fact that we certainly don't want to do that, I did have a chance to reach out to the Camp Muskingum directors. And we're very fortunate because when we go down to camp, it is only us, meaning it's only our sixth grade. There's no other schools down there. So it's, 60 some kids and our chaperones, our teachers that go down, and it's an incredible 3 days down there. And what's nice about us being that way and not sharing it is that in the future, meaning next year, there is plenty of room for you guys to join next year's sixth grade class. So our plan is for you guys to attend camp when you are seventh graders. Now I know that's a whole year away, but that it has been scheduled, and the goal is for you guys not to miss out on that opportunity for 6th and 7th graders to attend 6th grade camp or 7th grade camp at Camp Muskingum next year. So I do assure you that it is scheduled. Again, that opportunity is not going to be taken away from you. The only bad news is we'll have to wait a year. So a couple other items I just wanted to touch on. And again, these are just questions that I've received from parents. Hallway traffic. So another area like the cafeteria that when you're looking at social distancing, how is that going to look? So for the first few weeks, and we will do this as long as we need, our teachers are going to escort in like a line, and we kind of say it's like elementary-ish, escort the students to the next class. So that will help our students kind of learn the flow of the traffic of the hallway. It will allow us to keep some social distancing. And obviously with our 6th graders, it will help them get used to their routine. So in the first few weeks, we are going to utilize our teachers to do that. As the years go by, as the days go by, and we feel more comfortable utilizing the hallway, and that traffic flow and assuring that social distancing, students will be free to kind of travel. The good news too is our 6th grade is on a little bit different bell schedule, and it's only by a few minutes. So when our 6th graders are in the hallway, there is no other grade level in the hallway. So they will have the hallway to themselves. So if they need, to go down to Mr. Clapper's room from Mrs. Haynes' room, which is a little bit of a walk, they'll be easily and freely to do that. Physical education classes. I've received the question of whether or not we were having those. The answer is yes. Obviously, we will abide by all our protocols that we have in place, social distancing. There might be things that are done in the classroom at times, and then there will also be times that children will participate in regular physical education in the gym. So we are having those classes. Ms. Vlasky will lead those classes for us. All our students will participate and have a semester of physical education. So I know I received quite a bit of questions regarding physical education. The next one, and obviously this is probably one of the biggest adjustments that we've had to make going into the school year, is face coverings. So again, Mr. Finnerfrock goes in depth of covering the face coverings, the policy, the guidelines that we've received from the Stark County Health Department, and the latest is mask or gaiters are the only thing that fulfill that requirement. So using a face shield and that alone does not meet the face covering requirement. Now, obviously there's paperwork there for those that might have a medical condition. And then obviously if a face covering is more appropriate for those individuals, that is perfectly acceptable. And, obviously we'll have some discussion if we need to go that route. But now, one thing that we've talked about as a staff, we've talked about with our admin team, is this is obviously going to be a big transition from, for our kids wearing masks. So we are going to build in face covering breaks. So parents, students, I don't want you to think that you're going to have a mask on or a face covering on all day in our classrooms. And if we can social distance you 6 feet, then you're free to take off that mask. And many of our classes right now, they are over that capacity to maintain that social distancing. So in the classrooms, except for during those breaks, I do see us having to wear face coverings there. Obviously in the hallways and on the school bus. And then at lunch, you'll have a little bit more freedom to take those off. So I guess my big thing with face covering is I just want families, parents, guardians, and students to know that we understand this is going to be a difficult transition. We understand that breaks are needed and they will be built in. And I actually received a question the other day about, is there going to be discipline for face covering and stuff like that? Our philosophy in the middle school is we're dealing with children, we're dealing with kids, and we want you to know that we are going to provide, acceptance and time to get used to that face covering. We understand that there might be some friendly reminders from staff. So I'm not even going with the discipline. Obviously, if down the road there's some defiance or something like that, that's a whole different ballgame. But if somebody needs a friendly reminder to put up their mask, it will only be a friendly reminder. So if you have additional questions about face covering, please feel free to let me know tonight, or to contact me individually so we can discuss those. So that kind of leaves me with questions. Again, I do not have the YouTube live feed up. Mr. Hinton or Miss Gorman, I didn't know if there was any questions at this time that need to be directed towards me.
I have not seen any questions at this time.
Okay.
Parents or families, if you want to post something on the YouTube live link, we can answer the question that you might have right there in the comments section if you want.
Thank you, Mr. Hinton. So we'll give a few more minutes here for any questions. Teachers, if you have anything to add, I did put up the slide with my contact information. If you're not comfortable asking a question through the chat, please feel free to contact me through email or give me a call tomorrow, and we can certainly address those. Again, as we sit here a few minutes and see if you have any questions, I just want to reiterate that I'm very thankful for the staff that we have. They have put a lot of time into assuring that school looks like school. We've put a lot of time into our plans in regards to easing some of the anxiety. And I go back to those phase-in days. That phase-in day, very excited about. We're going to be able to spend time with a grade level. Students will be able to socialize, spend time in small groups. And I'm really looking forward to those days. So with that being said, I'll give another minute here if we have any questions. I appreciate everybody joining us. This will obviously remain on YouTube. So if you need to revisit it, feel free to. I do want to thank Mr. Hinton. If it wasn't for Mr. Hinton, this would not be live. He knows how to hook up the Zoom call up to YouTube Live. So thank you, Mr. Hinton, for doing so. Mr. Hinton, do we have any questions yet?
We have a few questions rolling in at this
All
time.
right.
Will the sixth grade fees be different this year due to the fact that they are not going to camp?
Great question. Yes. And I do not have that right in front of me. Miss Maley, I don't know if you know the exact fee amount for sixth grade.
Let me get that information for you real quick.
All right. So
here.
she's going to pull that up. But yes, so usually I believe campus cost, so the sixth grade fees had an additional fee of the sixth grade camp, and that is not included anymore. So that $70 that you usually pay towards camp obviously will not be paid this year. I believe our fees are around between, I don't know.
I think it's for sixth grade, it's either $42, $45, or $48. So
Gotcha.
right around there.
Well, I'm going to pull this up.
I can't find it on my Google Sheets.
Great question. Let's get you an answer tonight. Here we go.
You may have the answer for this next one. This is a pretty easy one. So student supplies, you want them to bring all their supplies in their backpack on the first day?
Great question. And that is something that we just discussed. So yes, we do. So sixth grade, we've made the decision, please bring in all your supplies. Teachers will collect the supplies that they need to keep in the classroom. We do have things in place to kind of keep them separated. We will not be sharing supplies this year. So the teachers, we have a plan in place to make sure that the only supplies that students use are their own. So do bring in all your supplies, obviously, and part of that first day we'll be preparing that take-home binder as well. Teachers, do you have anything else to add about in regards to supplies?
Mr. Dent, the sixth grade fee is $45 for this year.
$45. Yep. So just to kind of go over, and this is another question we often get, is what kind of makes up our fees? So the camp fee, and sorry, I'm looking here on my phone, obviously is waived this year. We do have a technology license fee. Obviously, our district is charged quite a bit of money to use all the programs. So we charge our middle school students the least amount as we can, which is $25 for the technology fee. There's a $9 fee for Scholastic Scope magazine. Our planners, which are a little bit more than this, and again, I like to keep fees as low as possible, is $7. And then we do have a $5 cycle fee for our electives. So again, that equals $45. So our sixth grade fees this year are $45. For those that are online, whether it's school-based or home-based, It came to, obviously you won't be using possibly a student planner or Scholastic magazine, but when we looked at the cost of the technology costs of that and the cost of obviously the support that is in place, it was actually going to cost sixth graders a little bit more than $45, but we just kept it even. So all sixth grade students, their fees are only $45. Mr. Hinton, any additional questions?
Yes, sir. I got one more. Will the fees be the same for the remote learners? If yes, how should they supply the funds? Should they bring those when they pick up the packet, or will they be different for remote learners? So the online academy kids.
Yep. And I just answered that. So it is still the $45 and that cost, obviously those, some of the items that they don't use, but when you look at the technology programs that they use and the cost of those licensure, we kind of split those up between. So it is still $45. In paying that, I will have to get back to you with that. You are always welcome to bring it up to the school and drop that off. I need to look at whether or not we will be set up to accept anything when we do the pickup. So that will be a question that I do need to get back to you guys on, and I certainly will. So again, the question being, when they come up and pick up their devices, can they bring their fees then? I'll need to kind of look into that. Miss Maley, I don't know what your thoughts about that are. I don't know if we would be in a position where we'd be able to do that or not.
I think that would be fine if you have your stuff in an envelope we can just grab quickly. Your other options for paying fees are just to bring them in. If you want to call and schedule something, that way I know you're coming. Or if you utilize Pay School Central for your lunch account, your fees are also in there and you can pay those as well there. So those are your two options, but I don't see an issue if they want to bring it in on the drop off. Like I said, if it's in an envelope and ready to go with the student's name on it, and then you wouldn't get a receipt right away, but I could definitely mail one out the next day if that's something you would want.
Thank you, Miss Maley.
You're welcome.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
We have one more question, Mr. Dent.
All right.
So for students that are doing an online option, online academy, whether it be school-based or home-based, and they want to participate in choir, how are they able to do so?
Great question, and had the same exact question, but instead of choir, it was band. So here's kind of our options. As you'll learn, obviously, at orientation, the program that we're using is called Acellus. And the Acellus program do offer music classes. They obviously are not like choir or band where you're participating that way. There's a music appreciation class that you are free to, if that's something you're interested in, we can obviously enroll your child in that. The other alternative is, and again, I have not talked to Ms. Morton about this in regards to choir, but I did talk to Mr. Husted in regards to band, is if there was material that they can send out through email to your son or daughter so they can still participate, is a little bit easier, probably a little bit more sense in band, giving them the music to certain songs. Choir might be a little bit different because obviously you don't have somebody. Right now, though, we are not in the position where we will let kids come in the building just for those subjects. It's something that we might look at, but right now, so if you're thinking you're going to stay at, you're at home or at school base, and then you just come in for that course, right now we're not allowing that. And just to kind of give you some thought behind of why that is in place is obviously those are classes like our other classes. And, we don't want to get in a position where kids are coming and going and in and out of the building, participating in some classes in person, participating in other classes virtually. So obviously that is, I hope that we as a school can come up with something a little bit different. And I'm glad that we can offer that music appreciation course through Acellus. But, I know that is not the same as choir or band. So the answer right now is to participate in those classes in person. No, we did have some thought about, virtually participating in a way. But right now right now the answer is no. So thank you, Mr. Hinton, for that question. Any other questions?
I believe we've covered all the questions that I see on the chat board for tonight.
Wonderful.
Great job, sixth grade team, Mr. Dent. Awesome presentation.
Awesome. No, we appreciate it, Mr. Hinton. And again, families, students, we appreciate your time and thank you for joining us tonight. Again, if you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to contact me directly. And we look forward to seeing all you students on Monday, and we'll have a great time. And I hope you guys all have a great evening. Thank you so much.